KBTX.
Well, it's almost August, which means it's nearly time for back to school. And while you're preparing your kiddo for class, it's important to prepare and educate them on school safety. Here to discuss more, we've got Allison Prince, Director of Development at Scotty's House. Thank you so much for being here today.
Absolutely. Happy to be here.
Okay, let's start with this. Basic school safety tips that students and parents should have with them at all times. We're talking phone numbers, parents' names, things that, or think you're basic, but things that they should know in case there is an emergency.
For sure. Of course, this is going to be dependent on everyone's children's age, but I have a child who's starting kindergarten this year, and so it's something that we're practicing is, do you know your mom and dad's name? What's your mom and dad's name? What street do you live on? These are things that if they get lost in the shuffle somewhere, that they can help themselves get back to safety. And knowing who to share that information with and who not to share that information with. As they're getting older, it's talking about who you do accept rides from and who you don't accept rides from, and really rehearsing that and practicing it with your children. Really, it's about conversation and opening those lines of dialogue with them to help them stay safe.
Who's more nervous for kindergarten starting, you or your
No, I'm ready. He's my youngest. We're ready to get him out.
You're ready to get on out of here.
He might feel differently.
All right, we know that social media plays such a huge role in all of our lives, and it's easy to share what's going on in your life with your friends, but you might be sharing a little bit too much information. So any tips that you can give us about social media use?
Yeah, so I'm picking out back to school outfits and thinking about where do we take the pictures for back to school pictures. And people love those little chalkboards that have the kids' age and school and their favorite teacher and practically every bit of information, including their shoe size. All you're doing if you're putting that out on the internet for other people to see is you're giving people information to have access to your children. Now they can walk up to your child if they recognize them and begin having conversations with them that you may not want them to have. So I'm not saying don't take those pictures. Maybe just keep those for your family, share them via text with your personal group. Instead, you can share the pictures, of them just standing in front of your house or, someplace in a nondescript area that doesn't identify where the child's going to school, how old they are, who their teacher is, things like that.
You mentioned about transportation. Sometimes parents aren't able to go pick up kids, or there's bus stop safety.
Yeah.
Is there some information that you can share there about conversations you can have with your child about who might be picking them up from school, or how they're getting home from the bus stop, or what that all looks like?
Practice. The best thing to do is practice and rehearse it with your kids. Actually, my older son got lost on the first day of school walking home from his first day of kindergarten. Amazingly, we had practiced, and I have no idea how my amazing 5-year-old figured it out, but he didn't. We found him and he was safe. It happens, and this is in the best of situations, it happens. So practice and have those conversations about who are they supposed to go home with and who they're not supposed to go home with. How are they supposed to get there? Who should be waiting for them and who shouldn't? Because sometimes, kids don't always understand who's in our lives, and we might have people who are active in our kids' lives, but we don't necessarily want them to have alone access with our children. And so practicing who's okay for them to go home with and who's not, and rehearsing those things. It's about those conversations and not making it a taboo thing to talk about, but that it's just a conversation that they feel comfortable coming to you about something that may have happened, and you feel comfortable going to them with what's going on in their lives.
How simple communication can be and such a huge role that it can play.
And it's never too early to start.
Yeah, excellent. Allison Prince, Director of Development at Scotty's House. We'll put some of these tips up online so you can reference them again. Thank you so much for being here.
Happy to be here.
All right, we're going to take a live eye look outside. We're back with your treat of the day after the break.